Good evening. This has been the moment you've been waiting all day for, hasn't it? 10 o'clock, slowly waiting for all the results to trickle in. We might have a couple of landslides. We may see a couple of upsets here and there, but we are voting for the Darty party here in Portsmouth this evening as Group B gets underway at the Modus Super Series. And always top of my ballot paper, it is Matthew Edgar. He gets the nod of approval for us here at the Live Lounge. Group B this evening, interesting group. Couple of debutants in there, couple of unknown quantities.
Well, we should have some proven quantities, really, but even that, we've got some unproven quantities when we look at Jon Worsley, who's not really been playing a lot of darts as of late. We've got two debutants in here who we're not sure how they're going to handle the experience as well. So a lot of question marks over tonight, which for me brings us a lot of stories. And I think that's the story we're going to have tonight. Lots of little individual stories and battles, and collectively, we're in for a great night.
We'll talk about Jon Worsley in just a second, as well as everybody else in Group B. But let's have a look at the tournament bracket at the midway point of the week's action. Jim McEwen won Group A yesterday, and this afternoon we saw Group C get underway, where we've got 3 players tied at the top of the table on 8 points.
Yeah, clear separation in Group C at the moment, and I think that's what it's going to come down to tomorrow. You get that opportunity to lose a few games in Group C, but I think the players at the bottom of the table have probably lost too many now, and it comes down to a race between 3. And it's going to be a good battle because there wasn't really much to separate those today. In fact, they're only separated by just one leg. So again, really looking forward to watching that all unfold tomorrow from 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that will get back underway at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We're going to be watching Group B, though, this evening, which was originally going to have Kevin Painter in the field. He's had to withdraw and replaced by Craig Galliano. He's actually released a statement to send to us this evening. He said, unfortunately, I've had to withdraw from week 5 as he's struggling with dartitis at this moment in time. He is hoping to be back in a few weeks' time. And Kevin's a player that you know oh so well, and you've followed his career for a long time. For him to make a statement like that and to pull out of any competition because of an injury, or in this case dartitis, it means that it's something serious.
Kevin's been a practice partner of mine for 14 years, and I know Kevin very, very well. And one thing is, he won't take this lying down. He will hate this situation, and he will do whatever he can to put it right. He's already started to seek out professional help and the help in which he needs to get him through this process. There will be more to come from Kevin Painter. I'm confident of that. This is just a very minor blip on what has been one of the most longevity careers you've ever seen in any professional dart player.
Yeah, I wish Kevin all the very best, and we wish him well for the future. Right, let's get into tonight's action then, as far as Group B is concerned. Now, we've got 2 debutants here, Craig Galliano and Noah Lynn van Leuven. Let's begin with Craig. Played at the World Cup of Darts last week. Last-minute call of him. He got the call at round about late Sunday night going into Monday morning. So preparation hasn't been long. But what you've seen of him perhaps in World Cups in the past, how do you think he's going to take to this stage? Or is it relatively hard to know?
Preparation hasn't been long in regards to this specific event, but preparation was going into the World Cup anyway. It's not like he's coming in cold. It wasn't like he wasn't expecting. He would have been looking to peak last week for the World Cup. So this is just a bonus that he's got something else on the back of that. And all his preparation would have been in replacement for the World Cup. However, now he's got this, and this is an extra. This is a bonus. You come here without any nerves, come here with freedom, and show us what you can do. Because when you look at darts in Gibraltar, it has been developing quite a bit over the last couple of years, and players are starting to emerge, and this is a player that we could look at being one of the leading lights of that nation.
In terms of Noah Lynn van Leuven, we've seen her win a Challenge Tour this year, doing well on the Women's Series as well. Going into this competition, when you look at some of the numbers that she's punched in winning those particular tournaments, if she can play to that level, she's got a very, very good chance of being successful.
Noah Lynn van Leuven, for me, is probably one of the most improved dart players I've seen over the last 12 months. You cast your mind back 12 months ago and you'd have imagined it would have been around a mid-70s to a low 70s. You certainly wouldn't have been expecting Noah Lynn to go to a Challenge Tour and win the title. And not just win the title, but win the title in the way that Noah Lynn did. Beating the likes of Darryl Pilgrim, averaging over 100 at times. It was a very dominant performance and a very good performance that really put Noah Lynn on the map. And now it's a case of what's next? Can that be followed? And it's opened doors like being here at the Super Series. And it'll be very, very interesting to see how Noah gets on.
Well, let's have a look at the odds then for this group, because there's so much to unpack and unravel. Scott Taylor goes off the even money favourite, but in terms of this week, is it fair to say it hasn't quite gone to plan for him so far?
I mean, you've only got to look at those odds and look at what's happened this week and on the short-term form. Timothy Brewer, 5-1, far too big. He has looked so good. He's looked so composed. He's going to be a threat in this group, and at 5-1, he's got to be the value play.
Let's talk about Jon Worsley, because you're going to see a difference with Jon. He's lost a lot of weight. He's lost 5 stone in the space of 5 weeks. He's been going to a boot camp. It's the first time, though, he's actually thrown darts in those 5 weeks. And you yourself, have been on a similar journey. What is it like when you're playing darts after you've been on one of those programs?
Well, when you start losing weight, or you start putting on a bit of muscle and you start lifting weight, which is something, a journey I'm going on myself, what it does is it changes the way in which you throw. It changes the balance, the central line of balance and the center of mass, and it all changes in regards to those sports science specific moments. And what it does is it then changes how you sort of throw and propel the dart through the air. Now, for me personally, I've been able to change and adjust the flight that I use back down to a smaller flight, where I had to start going to the bigger flights. Jon Worsley, a very similar case in the way that he grips his dart very close to the point, and he grips it at the front end of the barrel. So what we're going to see here is we may see the dart land at a much more aggressive angle, almost a bit more like Phil Taylor, where it's sort of drooping down. How he adjusts to that in such a short period of time, I don't know, which is why him being second favourite, I think maybe not a lot of research has gone into those odds, but it could come up here and it could work great for him.
Well, it is 18 plus. It is begambleaware.org if you're going to have a flutter on the Super Series today. And Jon Worsley is going to be involved in our first game of the evening session here at the Live Lounge in Ports. He's the second favourite to go on and win the week. He's the second favourite to go on and win this particular group. And he begins his journey here against Scott Taylor, the man who is the favourite to go on and win Group B. And earlier on this evening, I caught up with the Womble to talk about the weight loss and to talk about the darts. Jon, welcome back to the Modus Super Series. Looking well? Looking forward to the next couple of days?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, I don't know how I'm going to play because I've had a little bit of a change to my body, so see how it goes.
Yeah, let's talk about things recently, because you look in good shape. You've been a bit more in terms of the fitness side, and just maybe the darts to take a little bit of a back step as a consequence.
Yeah, I had no choice. I got fat, to put it bluntly, but yeah, I checked into team boot camp and fight camp, and they sorted me out, sorted my mind out, got my food right, and I've worked my ass off, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
So back here playing darts for the first time since then, has it felt actually a little bit weird because you've been so used to a routine in other areas?
How do you mean?
As in for preparing for a tournament after, obviously, with the boot camp and things like that, just adjusting to darts life on top of that.
Yeah, I've lost so much weight, so I'm 5 stone lighter now. So trying to adjust and focus on darts, it's been difficult. But yeah, I'm trying my hardest, and I'll give 100% tonight. Whether they go or not, I just can't tell you.
Is tonight a case of just getting things right for yourself? Of course, you want to get the victories on the board, but just seeing where things fit.
Yeah, my darts, anybody who's watched me play darts, they'll notice that my darts are landing differently now. So I just need to work on that, try and get as close together as I can and see how it goes.
Well, you look well. Hopefully you throw well. Jon, good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you very much to Team Boot Camp and Fight Camp and everyone who works there and everyone who goes there, because you're all amazing.
Yeah, Jon Worsley looking good. Hopefully he'll be throwing good over the course of the next few hours or so. He takes on Scott Taylor, who will be hoping to grow into the week as it goes along. Just about squeezed into Group B following the end of yesterday's action. Took out that ton checkout. Needed to beat Neil Duff 4-2 or better. Did exactly that by doing that. As for Jon Worsley, 39-year-old from Chepstow, former Challenge Tour event winner, former weekly winner here at the Super Series, is the Womble. As for Scott Taylor, the 32-year-old from Bolton, former series champion here at the Super Series. It should be an intriguing evening's worth of arrows here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth, and I'm going to be watching it all in the company of primetime Matthew Edgar for some primetime darts.
Yeah, just literally said there that I expected to see Jonathan Worsley's darts land a little bit different, and he's alluded to the fact that he feels the same as well, so it'll be interesting to see any changes there. Paul Hinks, your referee for all the action tonight, as we've got 10 games to come your way.
And the first dart of the night is going to be thrown by Jon Worsley, and I think it's fair to say, on the basis of the dramatic weight loss that he's had recently. We don't quite know
125.
how he's going to start. In fact, he openly admitted himself he doesn't quite know what to expect in terms of this
81.
evening. So there's a possibility that the bookmakers may have got it absolutely right, despite maybe not knowing the consequences and the circumstances involving Jon. Or there could be a possibility where there may be a little bit of value. We just don't know.
Well,
78.
as I've documented, it's something I'm doing myself. Losing weight, lifting weights, changes, and you don't have to
39.
throw the dart as hard. And one thing you do as well when it used the word, and I'm going to use it to describe myself as well, I suppose. One thing you do when you get a little bit fat is you slouch. And
86.
you sort of don't want to stick the shoulders back, like put the chest out, because obviously it pops the belly out and it's an uncomfortable feeling. And one thing you'll see with Jon Worsley here is standing taller, the shoulders are open, the chest is pronounced. It's a much better stance already, and this is some of the benefits that you get when you start to go back down. You get confident and
60.
you feel good in the mind, release all those endorphins, the psychological advantage, and you don't go soft in the mind.
145.
But
John O'Carroll,
Scott Taylor's
152.
performance you could describe as soft so far this week. Not tonight. Great start from Scotty T.
And I think the fact he's playing the night session, I think we expected
45.
him to do some
Scotty
big
Carr,
things when
56.
it came to the evening shift. And he's looking to shift his way into a 1-0 lead. Looking for the break of throw if he can find the tops.
16.
But he has spurnt a couple of
John O'Carroll,
opportunities.
107.
And Worsley here to save throw is going to have to take out the 107. Could save throw. One dart to save throw at tops. Oh, that's
Ace on the
superb.
first leg, Jon Worsley.
And the one ball is off to a flying start. Tub plus checkout to get the evening's action underway.
Second leg, Scotsy through first. Game on.
That'll just be good for his mind. He'll be feeling good about himself. He'll be feeling confident. He'll be feeling very positive.
60.
But that will all be him. And it'll be nice to get that vindicated there with a good reaction on the dartboard.
I was saying to you
137.
off air earlier, Matt, that I think it's fair to say that I don't think we quite know what to expect from this group. There's so
60.
many question marks. For Scott Taylor, the week that hasn't quite gone to plan. For Timothy, he's had a great week, but is it going to come to a crash at some point? For Jon, obviously we didn't know how he was going to react. Two debutants in the mix. And I think
100.
it's very tough to make a prediction on heads and tails of certain things.
140.
Maybe Scott Taylor's come into this game as well. Not quite as sure, because I'm sure Jon Worsley's told the players in the back room as well the story, like he told us at the start of the show. And maybe Scott Taylor caught a little bit by surprise here,
140.
because this is quality from Jon Worsley. He's looking at a potential 12 darter here to break the throw of Scott Taylor.
60.
He's
John
looking
O'Carroll,
like a lean,
124.
mean tungsten machine. But he's not going to find the 1-2-4. Not that he needed to with this turn. He's got 6 on here to get the break of Scott and to lead 2-0. And remember, Scott had, in the previous leg, left himself on tops. Missed a couple of darts
84.
at tops, of course, to break the throw of Worsley. And since then, it's been one-way traffic in the direction of the Welshman.
Tops after 12.
99. John
Any
O'Carroll,
doubts,
40.
any fears that he may have had may be about to be eradicated. Or reinstalled.
$24. Scott O'Carroll,
Double 16
82.
won't go.
Yeah, it tends to be when you're going around the board that it sort of highlights, because you've spent a lot of time just throwing at that treble 20. Tops for Taylor.
62.
Another
John O'Carroll,
opportunity
16.
for Jon Worsley. Double 8 to double the leg tally. He's caught the flight on the way in.
Game shot on the second leg.
They're
Jon
just
Worsley.
beautifully there down to the bottom end of the bed. Scott Taylor stood
Third leg,
pondering
Jon
once
to throw
again.
first. Game on.
It's been a familiar sight this week, hasn't it? Scott Taylor stood at the back of the stage, pondering life.
He must be thinking, here we go again. And here Worsley goes again.
$120.
Well, that clatters between the two and then rejects its way up the board. And now he needs to find his way towards the light installations towards the side of the stage, which probably blinded him.
Again, I can vouch for that. I had very similar. A flight popped in there, and I went down to get it. It dazzled me.
83.
About 6 darts. Couldn't quite refocus the eyes, and then I lost another flight in there, so I just took a new one out the case.
So what you're saying is that somewhere down by the side of the stage there is an unused, well, match-used Matthew Edgar
81.
flight.
Could stick that on eBay.
Could sell it for a couple of pennies at the local car skip.
Don't know if you get a couple
96.
of pennies for it, to be fair, but maybe one.
If it ill helps Matthew.
66.
He's losing the lie there with tops 1 and 3, but no damage done here from Scott Taylor.
57.
Just really not being at it this week. There's still plenty of time. It's only game number 1 in Group B, but look at this from Worsley. This time fills it up. First maximum of the game there for Jon Worsley, levelling the scores in that department. So Taylor hitting one earlier on in the game.
54.
But again, 12 darts down to a finish here, Jon Worsley. 2 darts at tops.
Getting shot on the third leg.
This
Jon
is
Worsley.
steady. This is good from Jon Worsley. Opens up a 3-0 lead. 15 darter.
Scott to throw first.
And
Game
for
on.
Scott Taylor, this is bordering on the worst, well, it could well be the worst possible start for him. Needs to wake up.
120.
And then has a dart reject out the board.
Yeah, both players having the same scenario there, where they've had 2 darts in the treble and the last one being rejected. We could have had 4 180s.
100. $60.
Say the worst possible start. Dare I say, so far, this has been the worst week we've seen from Scott Taylor here at the Super Series.
Well, Scott's never failed to qualify for Saturday night in
85.
each of his previous 8 appearances here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. And then when he gets to a Saturday night, he tends to go very deep in it.
68.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter how you get there, just get there. And that is top 3 tonight in this Group B campaign.
To put it in perspective, first appearance 1, then got to the semi-finals at Champions League, followed by a
98.
runner-up spot in Series 4, runner-up spot in Series 5, won the week in Series 6, won the Champions Week, and then in Series 7, runner-up to Neil Duff, and then in his second appearance, a semi-final against Andy Davidson. He has never failed to at least get to a Final 4 on a Saturday night in any week he's played here.
Felt like I was getting told off there, Henry.
82. Scott Lucar, 73.
Oh, Scott Taylor's given his darts a bit of a telling off, and they've reacted in kind. He finds the
Getting shot on
tops
fourth leg. Scott
to bring it
Taylor.
back to 3-1. He forces Worsley to serve it out. He has the darts
Fifth leg, John
to
to third
seal a
first.
4-1
Game
win.
on.
Just taking his time here, Worsley, and when Taylor took that out, it was almost like he just took a pause. He had a little nod as if to say, this is it, this is the leg. The last one was Scott Taylor's
60.
throw, so he can sort of dismiss that as the expectation is that Scott Taylor's going to win it.
91.
That could have been so much more damaging after a treble 20 with the opening dart there for Scott Taylor. This is the
41.
danger, though, when you've not been playing as much and you've made changes. When Worsley stood at the back there and he's like, it's go time. This is the leg. This is the leg to get it done. And you're asking and demanding
100.
from yourself. Sometimes when you do that and you're not playing regularly, when you go and ask the question, you find that the tank may not be as full as you thought.
97.
Great last start. Great cover shooting from Worsley.
He's trying to G himself up in the background. These two players
85.
really are now trying to play a testosterone-filled tungsten tussle.
$61.
And so the ball now is in Scott Taylor's court for the break of throw. And if he could do that, he'll return the game to throw at 3-2. And then have the darts to
54.
take us all the way to a last leg decider. But he hasn't left himself on a finish. And so Worsley can and will step in.
So that's where I like the 18. It's a much bigger target. Gives you the
99.
167 possibility, but also you've got the chance of hitting a treble.
$97. John Ricard,
Desperate
143.
last start, and he found it. Full credit there to Scott Taylor. Worsley can't take the shot out here for the match. Too big of an ask.